In the heart of Africa, nestled between lush green forests and rolling hills, lay the vibrant village of Kijiji. Life in Kijiji was a blend of tradition and the whispers of change brought by modern times. The villagers lived harmoniously, their days filled with the rhythm of daily chores, laughter, and the occasional village celebrations. In this lively village lived Amani and her husband, Kato. Amani was a bright and ambitious woman, known for her sharp mind and hardworking spirit. She spent her days weaving beautiful baskets, each one more intricate than the last. Her work was sought after not only in Kijiji, but also in neighboring villages. Every day, she would sit under the large baobab tree, her fingers deftly crafting patterns that seemed to tell stories of their own. Kato, on the other hand, was known for his love of leisure. He preferred lounging under the sun, chatting with friends, and enjoying the simple pleasures of life. He had no interest in work, believing that his charm and good looks were enough to get by. While Amani toiled from dawn to dusk, Kato would often be found napping or playing games with the village children. Despite Kato's lack of ambition, Amani loved him deeply. She often encouraged him to find something he was passionate about, but Kato would shrug and say, "Why work when I can enjoy life's pleasures?" Amani's success began to grow, and with it, their household prospered. She started selling her baskets in the city, and soon, merchants from far and wide were visiting Kijiji to buy her creations. The more Amani thrived, the more Kato's jealousy grew. He watched as she received praise and admiration from everyone around. His heart began to fill with envy, a feeling he had never known before. Instead of being proud of his wife, he started to resent her success. He couldn't understand why she would work so hard when he believed life was meant to be enjoyed without the burden of labor. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the village gathered around the communal fire, Amani announced that she had been invited to showcase her baskets at a grand market in the city. The villagers cheered and congratulated her, their voices ringing with pride. Kato, however, sat in the shadows, his face dark with anger. "How come everyone praises Amani? She's just making baskets," he muttered to himself. He couldn't shake off the feeling that his wife's success was somehow diminishing his own worth. As days turned into weeks, Kato's envy only grew. He began to criticize Amani's work, belittling her achievements. "Anyone can weave baskets," he would say dismissively. But Amani, with her gentle heart and unyielding spirit, continued her work, refusing to let Kato's bitterness dim her light. One day, Kato decided that enough was enough. He resolved to find a way to make Amani stop working and return to the simple, carefree life they once had. He devised a plan to make her fail at the grand market, hoping that if she tasted failure, she would give up her dreams and stay home. As Amani prepared for her journey to the city, Kato secretly tampered with her baskets, loosening the weaves and damaging the intricate patterns she had worked so hard on. He felt a twisted sense of satisfaction, convinced that this would be the end of Amani's success. Little did he know, fate had a different plan for them. The next morning, Amani set off for the city, her heart full of hope and excitement. She didn't notice the subtle damage to her baskets, her mind too focused on the opportunities that awaited her. Kato watched her leave, a smug smile playing on his lips. As the days passed, Kato roamed the village aimlessly, waiting for news of Amani's failure. He imagined her returning in tears, her spirit broken. But the village remained quiet, and there was no sign of Amani. Kato's anxiety grew with each passing day, until he could bear it no longer. He decided to go to the city and see for himself what had become of his wife. When he arrived at the bustling market, Kato was stunned by the sight before him. Amani's stall was surrounded by a crowd of eager buyers, their faces alight with admiration. Even with the damage Kato had caused, Amani had managed to salvage her work, creating new designs that were even more beautiful and unique. The merchants praised her creativity and resilience, offering her more money than she had ever imagined. Kato stood frozen, his plan crumbling before his eyes. He realized that his jealousy had driven him to try and destroy the very thing that made Amani shine. As he watched her smile and interact with the crowd, a pang of guilt pierced his heart. He had underestimated Amani's strength and determination, and now he was left to face the consequences of his actions. As the bustling market buzzed around him, Kato's mind was in turmoil. He had hurt the person who loved him the most and tried to destroy her success. He realized he couldn't run away from the truth any longer. Taking a deep breath, he walked towards Amani's stall, his heart heavy with guilt. Amani was busy attending to her customers, her face glowing with pride and joy. When she saw Kato approaching, her eyes widened in surprise. "Kato, what are you doing here?" she asked, her voice filled with warmth and love. Kato couldn't meet her gaze. He stared at the ground, shame washing over him. "Amani, I need to talk to you," he said softly, his voice trembling. Seeing the seriousness in his demeanor, Amani excused herself from the crowd and led Kato to a quiet corner of the market. "What's wrong, Kato?" she asked gently. Kato took a deep breath, his hands trembling. "Amani, I tampered with your baskets," he confessed, his voice breaking. "I loosened the weaves, hoping you would fail at the market. I was jealous of your success, and I wanted you to stop working so hard." Amani's eyes widened in shock, and for a moment, she was speechless. The silence between them grew heavy, and Kato felt his heart sink. He braced himself for her anger, but instead, Amani's face softened with understanding. "Kato, why would you do that?" she asked, her voice calm but tinged with sadness. "Why would you try to hurt me?" Tears welled up in Kato's eyes as he spoke. "I felt worthless, Amani. Everyone admired you, and I felt like I was just a shadow. I thought if you failed, you would come back to me, and we could go back to our old life. But I see now how wrong I was. I've been a fool." Amani took Kato's hands in hers, her touch warm and comforting. "Oh, Kato," she said softly, "I never wanted to leave you behind. I wanted to share my success with you. Your support means everything to me. We are a team, and together we can achieve so much more." Kato looked up at Amani, his heart filled with remorse. "Can you ever forgive me?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. Amani smiled, her eyes shining with love. "Of course, Kato. Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is that you've realized your mistake and you want to make things right. We can start fresh, together." Kato felt a weight lift off his shoulders. He realized how much Amani's forgiveness meant to him. "I promise, Amani, I will change. I want to support you in everything you do, and I want to find my own path too." With Amani by his side, Kato returned to Kijiji with a renewed sense of purpose. He decided to put his energy into something meaningful. Inspired by Amani's creativity, he started learning carpentry from the village elder, Omari, who was known for his exquisite woodwork. Day by day, Kato worked diligently, his hands crafting beautiful pieces of furniture. He found joy in his work and pride in his accomplishments. Amani continued to thrive, her baskets now known far and wide. The couple's home became a place of creativity and growth, where they supported each other and celebrated each other's successes. The villagers watched in awe as Kato and Amani's story unfolded. They saw the transformation in Kato and admired his dedication. The once lazy husband had become a man of skill and purpose, and together with Amani, they became a symbol of resilience and love. One evening, as the sun set over the village of Kijiji, Kato and Amani sat together under the baobab tree. The cool breeze rustled the leaves, and the sound of distant drums echoed through the air. Kato looked at Amani, his heart full of gratitude. "Thank you for believing in me, Amani," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "You've taught me what it means to truly love and support someone." Amani smiled, resting her head on Kato's shoulder. "And you've shown me the power of forgiveness and the strength of a true partnership. Together, we can face anything." As they sat there, hand in hand, Kato and Amani knew that their journey was just beginning. They had faced the shadows of jealousy and insecurity and emerged stronger and more united. With love and determination, they were ready to embrace whatever the future held, side by side. And so, the village of Kijiji continued to thrive, its heart beating with the stories of its people. The tale of Kato and Amani became a legend, a testament to the power of love, forgiveness, and the beauty of finding one's true purpose.